Hello students, here your Vaishali ma'am, and today I am going to explain you chapter number 2, and the chapter name is Fundamental Rights and Duties. So firstly we have to know what are fundamental rights. So basically fundamental rights are those freedoms which are essential for personal and common goods of a citizen. It means if a citizen will grow, definitely a country will grow. So here I wrote basic human rights which provide the conditions essential for the all-round development of a human being. Now the first point is it protect people against unjust discrimination. भेदभाव नहीं होना चाहिए. Second point is no distinction based on race, color, sex and religion. कोई भी किसी भी तरीके का भेदभाव race means color basis पर और मेल फीमेल धर्म जात पात के अकॉर्डिंग कोई भी डिस्टिंक्शन भेदभाव नहीं होना चाहिए. एंड द लास्ट पॉइंट इज इक्वलिटी ऑफ ऑल ह्यूमन बीइंग. सभी लोग बराबर हैं, समान हैं, इक्वल हैं. नाउ our constitution provides certain rights and duties for citizen which will lead to overall development of citizen, overall development of welfare of the country. So today we will see how many categories of fundamental rights we have. So there are 7 types of fundamental rights. First is right to equality. Second is right to freedom. Third is right against exploitation. Fourth is freedom of religion. Fifth is cultural and educational rights. Sixth is right to constitutional remedies, and the last is right to education. So this is a chart of fundamental rights of the constitution, but before starting we have to understand the importance of fundamental rights. So fundamental rights are essential for the growth of human personality. Second is fundamental rights are the part of the constitution and they cannot be altered or taken away by the ordinary legislation. And fundamental rights are also essential for the stability of international peace and order. Fundamental rights provide us self-confidence to citizens, providing them equality of status, which I already discussed to you, that equal before law. And it provides opportunity and protecting them from exploitation. Exploitation means शोषण करना by an individual or state. So this is the chart of the fundamental rights, and now we will discuss the first point, right to equality. So the right of equality depends on the right to equality of citizens. The right to equality has political, social and economical components. So the first point is equality before law. It means equality among all the citizens before law. Even if you are a poor person or a rich person, you have committed the same crime, then you will have the same punishment. There should be no discrimination among the citizens before law. What is the second point? The second one is prohibition of discrimination on the basis of caste, color, religion and gender. It means there should be no discrimination in any area. If you are asking for a job or opportunity or in a school, in colleges, if anybody discriminate you on the basis of caste, color, religion and gender, then that person will be punished. Now the third point is equality of opportunity. So equality of opportunity in matters of public employment. So equality of opportunity to all the people on the basis of their qualification in the matter of public employment. He or she should not allotted on the basis of gender and caste. The last point is abolition of untouchability and titles. So as well as the pensions means untouchability means those people who are regarded as untouchables are not allowed to sit next to the Brahmins or take water from the same well or live in the same community. So this type of untouchability will not be accepted, and that is totally abolished. Titles related to the princes such as Rai Bahadur, these titles have been taken away by the government after independence because titles make persons superior to others. That's why government abolished titles also, because we all are equal before the law. So this is the right to equality, and now next point is right to freedom. So in right to freedom. The first point is freedom of speech and expression. Basically, it provides a right of freedom to whatever we like we can speak, but some people are misusing it also. With the freedom of speech and expression, we can express our ideas. Second point is freedom to assemble peacefully without arms. So freedom to assemble peacefully, like in any places like marriage functions and parties. So if you are peaceful and not having any arms, you can assemble there peacefully. So your country is providing you the freedom to assemble peacefully and without arms. Third point is freedom to form association and union. So like if you see the trade union in the factories and schools also, you have a union, you all met together to decide something. So that freedom you also having until you are hurting someone. Fourth is freedom to move freely and settle down. So it means you have a freedom while you are moving, you are traveling in any part of the country, and if you want to settle in any part of the country, that freedom to move freely and settle down is provided by the Constitution of India. Next point is freedom to practice any profession or occupation. So if you want to change your profession or want to follow any religion, so that freedom you are having to choose any profession or religion. Now the next right is right to education. So right to education, in short we can say RTE. It provides right, free and compulsory education to the children up to the age of 6 to 14 years, and that is basically the weaker section. Second point is 25% seats reserved, means 25% of the seats reserved for RTE children in each and every private and government institution, so that they should come to school because they are also part of our country. Next is right to information. So first is enabling citizens to ask questions. So it empowers citizens by enabling them to ask questions, receive information and sample documents from the government and the other public authorities. Means the person is having right to ask question like where is money, where is tax is used. Clear? Now here is one quote given by Nelson Mandela: education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. This quote is given by Nelson Mandela. It is well said that education is not only having degree. The education means when you know what is good, what is bad, when you didn't discriminate people on the basis of caste, color, religion, greed, when you know what are your rights and what are your duties. And if you are hurting someone, then this is not an education. So education is a very important weapon which can change the world, which can bring new bringings into the world. And if we didn't provide education to poorer sections of the society, then definitely they will turn into a labor and might be they will humiliate by someone. Now the next right is right against exploitation. Correct. So the first point is prohibition of human trafficking, beggar and forced labor. So in this, if any person who is being trafficked from one place to another, so it is a crime. What is the meaning of human trafficking? It means selling of human beings for various purposes. And you can't put anyone for work because it is exploitation of that particular citizen. So it is definitely prohibited in our constitution. Second point is prohibition of employment of children below 14 years in factories, hotels, motels, home or any hazardous conditions. So this was completely banned, completely prohibited, because this is the kind of exploitation. Small kids can't do work in these places. Now the next right is right to freedom of religion. The first point is freedom to practice, propagate and follow any religion. It means obviously we are having a secular country, so you have a freedom to practice, propagate and follow any religion. If you want to convert, that is okay for our constitution, because constitution provides us the right to choose any religion and to follow any religion and propagate. Second point is freedom to manage religious institutions. So religious institutions like missionary schools, Hindi schools also. So they are having freedom to manage religious institutions until they are teaching, instigating the religious feelings of particular group. So the next right is cultural and educational rights. So here the first point is unity in diversity. So as you all know that we are having lot of culture in our country. So we are having unity in diversity, unity in diverse culture, unity in language as well. Second point is to conserve the language, social and culture of various minorities and establish educational institutions to promote it. So here the constitution provides the right that all the cultural people, they can preserve their culture, preserve their language. They can also promote it by opening of educational institutions. So the last right, it's right to constitutional remedies. So it is basically a right which acts as guardian to all rights, and it provides power to High Court and Supreme Court to issue writs in order to protect rights of citizens. I said one word, writ. So what is writ? Writ is a legal document which is ordering to perform actions. And Supreme Court and High Court have 5 writs basically. So first one is habeas corpus, second is mandamus, third is prohibition, fourth is certiorari, and last is quo warranto. So you have to know few things about it, and firstly we will start with the habeas corpus. So here the first is habeas corpus. It means to have the body. So by issuing such a writ, the High Court or the Supreme Court can get the body of the person released if it is wrongly detained by any person or a group of person or by the state. And this writ is a great safeguard for the personal freedom of a citizen. Second is mandamus. So it means we order, we command. Second is order from superior to lower. It means it is a command or an order from a superior court to a lower or an administrative authority to perform a certain duty. Third is prohibition. So the writ of prohibition is an order issued by a superior to lower court to stop proceedings in a case which might be in excess of the jurisdiction of the lower court. So these are the 3 constitutional remedies. First is habeas corpus, second is mandamus, third is prohibition. Now come to the fourth, certiorari. So the first is supreme to judicial authority desiring to be informed of what is going on. It means this writ is issued by a Supreme Court to a judicial authority deciding to be informed of what is going on. It appears similar to the writ of prohibition, but there is a difference. Writ of prohibition is issued when certain proceedings are going on, and the writ of certiorari is issued after the order has already been passed by the lower court. And the last constitutional remedy is quo warranto. It means by what order. It is issued when a person has usurped any office. This writ prevents public officers from forcibly or wrongly holding a high public office. And the writs make the right to constitutional remedies the most important and also make it an effective tool for their enforcement. Though presently only the Supreme Court and the High Court have the power to issue these writs, and the Parliament can confer similar powers on other courts. The next is fundamental duties. So before starting the kinds of duties, firstly we have to understand what are fundamental duties. So there can be no rights in a society where there are no duties. For example, like if we have a right to life, so it is our duty to respect others and life and not to injure another person. Similarly, the right to freedom implies that we have to maintain a self-restraint and accord similar rights to others which we want for ourselves. Now, firstly we will discuss about the duty towards self and towards one's children. It means to develop the scientific temper, humanism and spirit of inquiry and reform, and all citizens who are a parent has a duty to provide education to their child up to 14 years. Second point is duties concerning environment. So it is a duty to protect and improve the natural environment including forests, lakes, rivers and wildlife, and hold compassion for living creatures. Third one is duty towards state and society. So it means to abide and respect the ideas and institutions, national flag and anthem, and duty to uphold and protect the sovereignty and unity and integrity of India. It is our duty to defend the country and render national services when called upon to do so. And the last is it is our duty to safeguard public property. The last point is duty towards the nation. So to cherish and follow the noble ideas of freedom fighters. Next is to value and preserve the rich heritage of our culture, and it is our duty to promote harmony and spirit of common brotherhood. So hope you guys like this chapter explanation, and now I am going to ask some questions from your book. So the first question is, what are fundamental rights? Well, the fundamental rights are basic human rights which provide the conditions essential for all-round development of a human being. Next question is, what are our fundamental rights? Well, first, right to equality. Second, right to freedom. Third, right against exploitation. Fourth, freedom of religion. Fifth, cultural and educational right. Sixth, right to constitutional remedies. Seventh, right to education. Eighth, right to information. Correct. What are the significance of the right to equality? Yes, equality before law, equality of opportunity, abolition of untouchability, abolition of titles. Correct. Next is, you have to tell me the fundamental right. If a citizen goes to worship to a place of his or her choice, it is a freedom of religion. Correct. So now you have to tell me what is meant by the right to freedom of religion. Well, all persons are entitled to freedom of religion to choose freely, profession, practice and propagate their religion. They are having right of morality, health, every religious denomination, and no person shall be compelled, and no religious instruction shall be provided in any institution wholly maintained out of the state funds. Explain habeas corpus. Well, it means to have the body. By issuing such a writ, the High Court or the Supreme Court can get the body of any person released if it is being unlawfully or wrongly or mistakenly detained by any person or group of person or by the police. Next is, what is mandamus? So it means we order, and it is a command or an order from superior to lower court for an administrative authority to perform a certain duty. Correct. So hope you guys like this video. Thank you so much, students. Stay home, stay safe.